Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Santa Rita Union School District Board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. If we can please start off with the roll call.
Ms. Cindy Lopez.
Present.
Ms. Alvariano.
Present.
Ms. Sarah Turner.
Present.
Mr. Jacob Sandoval.
Present.
Mr. Neil Patel is not present.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the board agenda?
Motion to approve the board agenda?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, today in closed session, we have potential litigation under Government Code Section 54956.8 and 54956.9. 2.2, Public Employee Performance Evaluation under Government Code Section 54957. And we have conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6. Any public comments regarding closed session items?
There are no public comments.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn the closed session?
Motion to adjourn, closed session?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, see everybody afterwards. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to reconvene back into open session. During closed session, there was nothing that was voted on. So we're going to move on to item 5.1, approval of consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve items 5.2 to 5.5?
I motion to approve items 5.1 through 5.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, item 6.1, Gavilan View and John Gutierrez Middle School Migrant Speech and Debate Team. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I first want to start off by sending an apology from Esther Medina, who's the program specialist for Migrant Ed. She wanted to be here this evening, but Migrant Ed is now going to be in North County, is now going to be operated by the County Office of Education. So she's actually leading a Migrant Ed parent meeting in North Monterey County tonight. So she couldn't be here with us. So I'm going to present the certificates here on her behalf. So as you know, each year, Migrant Education holds a regional speech and debate tournament. And it's for all students between 6th and 12th grade. One of the benefits of migrant speech and debate is students can participate in either English or Spanish. They have to designate before, but it really gives our students whose primary language is Spanish an opportunity to show their educational prowess in their primary language. So here at Gavilan View and John Gutierrez, we were able to have a team combined who participated in our debate tournament this year. And so we're going to present them this evening with some certificates. So voy a hacerlo en español también. So nada más estoy diciendo, pues voy a pedir disculpas en parte de Esther Medina, que quiere estar aquí ahorita con ustedes, pero ya está en otra junta ahí en North Monterey County con los padres ahí. Pero yo estoy aquí para presentar a los certificados. Y nada más estoy explicando un poquito a la mesa directiva qué es el oratorio y debate y que los niños de ustedes pues ya lo participaron aquí de las escuelas de Gavilan View y de John Gutierrez. I wonder if Lupita's waiting. I think there might be a couple more students coming. Let me make sure. No, wait a few minutes. So
move
let me
on
give
to
you
the
a
next
little bit
item.
of an overview of how it works while we do that. So nada más voy a presentar qué es oratorio y debate a ellos. So students get to select if they want to do speech, and speech is solo, so they're doing it on their own. They're given a topic. They research that topic. They create a 2.5 to 4 minute speech that they can present. And they do 2 rounds of that prepared speech. Then they do 2 additional rounds of extemporaneous speaking. So they get a topic when they come into the room. They have to prepare for that topic. And for middle school, it's 1.5 to 2 minutes for that extemporaneous speech. As they present when the time comes, they compete at the regional level. They compete against middle school, so it could be 6th, 7th, or 8th. If they make it to the state, they participate in their individual grade levels. Or students can choose to participate in debate. And if they're in debate, they're working in a team of up to 5 students, as few as 3 students. They're given a single topic and they need to prepare both sides of that argument. So they have to understand the pro side, so the affirmative. They also have to understand the negative. The challenge with debate is that you're given a topic that you may have a strong feeling about on one side, but you have to argue the other side of that argument as well. And so it takes a lot of skill to be able to understand the topic in a way that you can present both sides of that argument. So they come to the tournament, they compete against different schools throughout Monterey County of the same grade level. They do 2 rounds of pro. They don't know which side they're going to have, and 2 rounds of con in each of that. And then those total scores for 4 rounds are tabulated to calculate our winners. The top team goes on to the state tournament. The state tournament now is being hosted here in Monterey County every year. They've decided that Monterey County should just be the place to host it. So it'll be hosted here. The tournament itself happens at Monterey High School. The students stay at Embassy Suites for the weekend. The reason I want to give you all of that is that they still need judges. So anybody out there who's interested in being a state speech and debate judge, please let me know. It's a really exciting day. We have several teachers and some administrators who have done it before, especially bilingual judges were needed. They have the state tournament will be students from all over the state of California, and they have a total of, I think, over 400 people who will be here for that tournament, 268 or something, Lupita, así, who will be participating in that tournament. So if you're available the weekend of May 3rd through the 5th, whatever that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the tournament's on the Saturday. Please reach out to me and let me know. None of this work would be possible without our coach, Lupita Aguilar Maldonado, who has worked for Migrant Ed for several years as a teacher and then takes on the challenge, the additional challenge of supporting our speech and debate teams. So she worked to prep all the students to get ready for the tournament and then supported them throughout that day as well. Okay, so now I'm going to present the certificate. So con todo de eso, voy a seguir con los certificados. So, nada más, como ya voy a decir rápido, nada más estoy explicando a ellos también que los niños participaron en el torneo aquí regional y luego los que ganaron primero, pues van a pasar al del estado. Y como el torneo del estado va a estar aquí en Monterrey, también, pues van a estar en la NBC. Ay, perdón. Ok, so aquí lo voy a presentar. Lupita, ¿ya quieres estar conmigo? You want to come up here? Okay. Becky will take pictures for us. Okay, so our first certificate is for Maria Jose Lázaro Sanchez. Oh, she's not here, but we're going to clap for her anyway. El siguiente, Omar Salvador Vázquez. You can stand right here, and then we're going to have you go right into the front, mijo. We'll have you, everybody come say it. Rachel, oh, she's not here. Okay, we'll do it. Catherine Viegas. Catherine? No, también las niñas ya están. Olivar Martínez Méndez. Oliver, you can go right there in front of him. Joel Cruz Nestor. Gabriela Arias Sánchez. Right there in front. And Karen Morales Rubio. Gracias, Karen. You guys can come right up here. You guys come right up here. And then I'll turn it over to you guys if you want to. You can. Okay, that's okay. Okay, we'll do a picture in there. Yeah. Ustedes padres también que ya quieren estar en foto, pásale, pásale. I know.
Bueno, felicidades para todos. ¿Pueden introducir sus papás que vinieron con ustedes? ¿Quién quiere ir primero? With the mic.
You guys are ready for this. You already know. Aquí lo pueden ver. Aquí, mijo. Can you introduce your parents? Sí, lo pueden introducir tus padres. Just introduce who's here with you. Just tell who's here with you.
My dad,
Who's your
Okay,
dad?
what's his name?
Anastasio.
My dad is here.
What?
Manuel.
My mom, Angelina Mendez Lopez, is here with me.
My mom is here with me. Okay. Francisca Rubio.
Más que sí, gracias a los papás por apoyar a sus hijos. Eso es muy importante en su jornada para llegar a un lugar donde pueden ellos, lograr algo mucho más grande que uno mismo. Yo también estaba parte del programa migrante cuando yo estaba en el elementary school. You guys should be very proud of yourselves. It takes a lot of courage to come and speak in front of folks, to debate and stuff. So I would just say, just continue what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job and just kind of keep at it. I don't know if you guys want to say anything.
Sí, como dijo el presidente, padres, qué orgullo, ¿verdad? Ver a sus hijos tomar esto, porque pues en realidad hasta uno de adulto es a veces una batalla, ¿verdad? Que tenemos para poder hablar en público. So es un gran logro de ellos. Students, be very, very proud of your guys' selves. Like it's very, very, this is something, I want to share a story. I have a friend, and this is just if, the debate grew a little fire in you guys. I want to give you guys hope. I have a friend that is an alumni from here, from Santa Rita JV, and she was also sorry, you see, I'm having trouble at the migrant program, and she's a successful attorney now. And I mean, anything is possible. So you guys should be so proud of your guys' self and continue with this. Congratulations.
Pues ya dijeron todo lo que iba a decir, pero estoy bien orgullosa yo de su participación en este evento. So I'm very, very proud. I'm a very proud board member to know that we have these kids that really have a good heart to, actually not even a good heart, but also a good courage to stand up in front of you. So all of you that was the debate, it was great. I'm so happy and honored to know that you are in our district. Thank you.
Thank you, gracias. Thank you.
Se pueden quedar así con todo gusto, pero si no, con todo gusto también pueden tomar el tiempo de salir también e irse también. Yo sé que tienen muchas cosas de la familia que tienen que hacer. Si no, pues también se pueden quedar. Gracias. Ya. Gracias.
Thank you, gracias.
Adiós. Adiós a ustedes.
Nice little group,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
nice group.
Okay, we're gonna move. Huh?
I know.
They didn't make it to state, but they tried hard, so.
They got it in front of people. That's
They
make
did.
it super
They
hard.
did.
Yeah, and even the studying and the practice, I wasn't even there at that level, at that age. Moving on to 7.1, any comments from SRTA? No, okay. 7.2 CSEA? Okay. Superintendent's Cabinet.
We're going to start at the end with our Chief of Human Resources Officer, Claudia Ariano.
Good evening. I do have a brief update for you. I will begin with the district's benefits committee, which has been, it's made up of members from SRTA, CSCA, the confidential unit, and representation from the administration group. We had our very first vendor presentation back in March 19th, and that was done by CBT, where the committee learned about what CBT has to offer, the different health partners that they have, such as Delta Dental, Caremark, and so on and so forth. And They requested that the district provide them with demographic information about the employees because the rates that they will offer is based on the district, the demographics of district employees. We are scheduled to have another presentation by CalPERS that will be taking place on April 16. And from there, hopefully the committee will be able to make a determination as to what direction to go with. I also have a brief update on the County Teachers of the Year and the Classified Employee of the Year. The district participated in that program. We nominated 2 teachers and 6 classified employees. So next week, we will be announcing our nominees that went to the county level. The county award ceremony is scheduled to take place on May 9th. So that is going to take place at the Embassy Suites in Monterey Bay. That will begin at 5:15. So if you would like to appoint 1 or 2, I don't think we can have more than 2, correct? So if you would like to attend that ceremony, just let us know by no later than next Friday. So that's my update.
Okay, thank you for the update. How are we doing on staffing this year just in general? I know we're towards the end of the year already, but just
Yes, so it is a challenge, as you know. We have a lot of openings, especially in special ed. We have made some offers, but it is a teacher's market. They
Got it.
get to choose where they want to go. So I can tell you that we have been in communication with agencies who recruit in the Philippines, and we are contemplating J1 and H1B visa employees, especially for special ed, which are very difficult to staff. So we're doing everything that we can, but it's not unique to the district.
Yeah.
We're all hurting for the same. Yeah.
We'll have our state of the district at our next meeting, and so we'll make sure to include like the actual numbers for the different positions that we're still recruiting for at the end of April for that.
okay, perfect. Now that's good, at least a synopsis. I mean, I wasn't looking for
Yes.
specifics, but I do appreciate that. As you guys are doing recruiting, I know you mentioned teachers market. Is part of it just not enough teachers have been, I guess, applying for the teaching profession in general as anecdotal evidence compared to who's retiring out? Is that what's
I'd say that's a big part of it. Based on like what we hear from our educational
Sure.
partners and their push to try to get more students to enter teacher credentialing programs, it's really difficult right now. It's not necessarily people's first choice of a field to study right now. And so they're doing what they can to recruit students who want to get their teacher credential and their degrees done. I know we partner a lot with like CSUMB and our local community colleges, and those conversations have been going on, especially post-COVID.
okay?
I was just gonna go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add that we are also participating. We're in partnership with Alder University for the teacher residency program, and we will be bringing in 2 candidates into that program. So that is also with the goal that they will choose to stay with us once they complete their credential program. So yeah.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, as my second job teaching with CSUMB, we know that in education, our enrollment in CSUMB overall is much lower. And just kind of for some of the meetings we've been having there has really been around, since CSUMB is a local university and many of the students that we recruit are local who come into local positions. As federal student aid, for example, comes into question, they're looking at even greater decline in those looking to seek that field. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I ask because I have been noticing that, because I mean, obviously I work in mortgages, so I see different industries and stuff. And I ask around as far as like where there's shortages, and I've also heard shortages of what they're doing, recruiting other countries, even within like the medical field. What's the other field? There's a couple of fields that they kind of mentioned that there's just a short of skilled, people that are going to that level and stuff. So it was just kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will bring you an update on at the next board meeting, just like Dr. Alderman was indicating.
Yeah, and I had noticing that they're offering bonuses for other countries to bring in people to do jobs. So that's just crazy. Okay.
Next up is our Director of Engagement and School Climate, Dr. Summer Prather Smith.
Of course, I have papers handout. I want to start first with, I was hoping Sophia was still going to be here, but I know she had to step out to go to wrestling. But we are starting our mural projects over at JGMS. So there's two additional murals going in there that are being funded through our Prop 28 funds. So Artist Inc. is working with our after school program, as well as students who choose to stay after school to participate in the mural program there. So we'll be bringing those to you soon as they finish them up. Along with that, on Prop 28 still, we also are starting on Monday a special education preschool art, music, and movement class that'll happen 2 days a week. It'll happen 1 day a week, but it's offered twice. So there's a Monday class or a Friday class. It'll be held at New Republic Elementary, and it's for our non-attending preschoolers. So our preschoolers who are coming to see us for supplemental services like speech and language or occupational therapy. We again partnered with Artist Inc. and their team who are specifically have worked to design specific programs for students receiving special education. So just some information that you can share out. We've been making personal phone calls on those and then mailed out those flyers as well. Also, just kind of a heads up, summer academy registration is going to be coming out. So we are starting so we had spring. It's been a very condensed, expanded learning period of time. We had our spring camp, which we had a good turnout, very successful, moved straight into our final series of Saturday academies, which started last Saturday. And those will go for 5 weeks. And so now we're finalizing summer enrollment. So just again, some information on summer enrollment. We'll go June, that's blank. We'll go June, must have done it two-sided, June 2nd to June 27th. And there will be 4 programs operating if you count migrant. So elementary will happen at New Republic. Middle school will happen at John Gutierrez. Then at Santa Rita, Migrant Ed will have their summer program happening, which is a full-day summer program for migrant students, as well as we'll offer an ELOP summer camp. So that's really for those students that maybe don't need the academic intervention or parents are choosing a more enrichment-based program. We heard last year, this is based on our feedback from our last summer program, some families said, they're kind of tired, right? So we said, okay, how can we offer both pieces of it? The summer camp will be based in the sciences, but it'll be a more camp-like program. So families can choose from those programmings. We are going to specifically target students who need that academic intervention to enroll in the program at New Republic. Then we'll offer an after-school camp for them as well. So students get both pieces of that. So that's coming up. And then the last parts that I have to hand out to you are, as I think I shared at one of our previous meetings, Dr. Katis has taken over supporting with attendance in partnership with me. And so she's been working really hard to put together lots of attendance manuals and gather information and make sure we're really clear on attendance. As you know, it's really important since we're funded through ADA, right? So we need students to be there because they need to be at school to learn, but we also know that it affects our funding. So she's been working closely with the clerks at the school sites as well as the administrators, and she's put together a couple of pieces of information that can go out in the front offices. So one is just kind of an attendance guidebook for families in English and Spanish, kind of when to keep your students home, what are the impacts of not attending school. And then the second is the truancy abatement program through the district attorney's office so that families understand kind of what that process is going to look like if you end up in truancy process overall. So these are out at our school sites and just information for you in case any questions come up. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Is it all the same? Okay,
It's the
nice,
same question.
perfect, yeah. This is great. One thing I had been kind of thinking about, just I've been busy with schedule, I wanted to kind of discuss with the board is, I know we've been more promoting on social media and that kind of stuff is, if there's a lot of this information where, and then we talked about videos where we can start maybe shooting out through social media, some of this stuff, because I know, I mean, this is great information, but we do know that the parents that are, or students that are our highest need, sometimes parents aren't as involved or take the time to maybe look up a brochure or anything. But I think getting to the point where it's like we can do a quick video on like, hey, 15 seconds, hey, your students return, that's where you learn to grow, kind of increasing that engagement. Because I know a lot of times through Parent Square, a lot of information gets sent out. And if you're an engaged person, you'll read it, but sometimes some parents are not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's been any part of the conversation.
So that's
Yeah.
that's next year's plan. So this
Okay.
year has been just to get our
Sure.
social media following increased by like posting a lot of shorter pieces.
Mhm.
I actually reached out. I think it's been like 2 weeks. So I don't know. At MCOE, there's McCade, which is what does all of their videos. It's a like a production programming that can come through there. So I had run into the person who does McCade to talk about, because you can actually, like in Migrant, we bring students in, and students would also help us record videos and such for upcoming programming. And then they have a full production team. So it's on my next year to work with
Of
them
course.
around getting, some videos together. So what we talked about doing is really highlighting programming at that point. So ELOP, spring, summer, some of those pieces. I didn't have this on there yet, but I mean, if we get done faster than we plan, I think we could do some of that as well.
Yeah, just kind of more getting people more informed of how it all.
And McCade is just a more fiscally reasonable way to go about it than some of the others, because it can be really expensive to do production. But through the county office with McCade, it can be a much more reasonable cost to do that also. So yeah.
Okay, no, appreciate it. Yeah, because I started thinking about like a lot of the stuff we're going here is great, but a lot of parents are not going to pick it up and read and stuff. And I was even thinking how you were mentioning you have to make phone calls in order to get people engaged to show up, right? Because a lot of times like the resources and the programs are there.
Yeah. And a lot of times with the phone calls, I mean, it's the phone calls. Even I think with the videos, we would do that. What the phone call does oftentimes is that when we're sending out anything in mass to families, it's not a personal invite. So what it says is, if this is going out to everybody and you don't come, everybody else is going to come. So you're not going to notice that I'm not there. And what we know is that when we make that personal phone call and it feels like a personal invitation, it feels like if I don't show up, there's an impact to you as well. So I think it's always with family engagement. I think it's that comprehensive approach. It's printed materials, it's ongoing messaging, it's videos, it's phone calls, right? It's all of those pieces together. And I see us working towards it. So yeah, I appreciate it's that full spectrum of
Okay,
support.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just wanted to make sure we're going in that direction, even though it takes time, for us to get there. So.
So this pamphlet, it's great, but it's geared for children and adults? Because
This is attendance for students. So this is student attendance.
Okay, 'cause
We
it
can
has-
do a stop one.
it has excused absences like jury duty.
Yeah, because those are just things. So for example, one of the things that an excused absence for a student could be, especially students who are being transported, could be if there was a jury duty for the parent and the parent couldn't seek out, or the child care provider that picks up, there's actually an excused absence process for students if there's a parent, impacted by jury duty.
Yeah, because it says jury duty, the ones that court appearances, attending a naturalization ceremony.
Yeah.
So that a child can.
Those are for the children. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And again, those are a set, because it can also be if a student is 18 and at the high school and they have jury duty, they could be excused from school. I mean, most of the time they won't call them, but they
Right,
could be.
right.
But yeah, also there's a piece in there around jury duty and impact on students if a parent has jury duty.
Was there two pamphlets or one?
Spanish. English.
Spanish and English.
Oh, but it's the same.
Mhm.
And that one is different, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
The only other thing I would recommend in regards to attendance, sometimes it really helps to monetize the information to people and include it in back to school night, include it in school site council, include it in conferences, and just being able to say to people, hey, we lose $80 every time your child doesn't come to school. We lose $40 when they take them out at lunchtime. And some people are like, what? And it's like and they're like, well, what if they're sick? I'm like, the state does, like, obviously we don't want you to send them sick, but we need you to, so that was eye-opening for some parents when we started actually having conversations about it, because most of them have no idea that there's a monetary cost to their child not being at school, even if it's
Small. We did that last year with Rosa around our overall, we did it a little bit of the opposite, but we sent a message that said, because we had increased our overall attendance from whatever the thing was, 93% to 98%, that gave the district an additional, like, this amount of revenue to families. And yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything from families, but yeah, I think that's a great way as well.
Okay, thank you.
Me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Leave on me.
Yep, sorry. I had a blank. Our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Miss Becky Moore.
Thank you. I'd love to share. Today I got to go and visit 3 school sites, working with our library media specialists and principals to look at our curriculum inventory, really make sure that they know what I'm looking for, what information I need to gather for our orders for next year. So working on that. And it was also nice just to have some check-in time with principals, answer any questions that they had, and visit some classrooms. My favorite is seeing students. So that was really fun. And I love it when they recognize me and they're like, waving. We have LCAP engagement happening right now. So we have a parent survey out regarding family engagement. Students are taking some Parsec Real surveys as early as TK to share with us their input on their learning. So this week we're focusing on ELD, next week will be ELA, and the following week on math. And then staff members are participating in LCAP engagement at their staff meetings. Their principals have been through with me how to introduce that and go through it with them so that we're getting lots of feedback. Next week, I'll also have a community LCAP engagement session Thursday evening at 6 right here. Summative LPAC is complete with the exception of those new students who have transferred in. And so we're working on those as they come. If they're enrolling in a California school for the first time and need to take LPAC, then these poor babies between now and May have to take both the initial LPAC to get a placement and then a summative LPAC to see if they grew in a week or 2. So we're doing it because that's what the legislation says we need to do. But for the most part, we're done. We're hoping that we'll have scores in May so that we can look at reclassification, particularly for 5th graders and 8th graders who will be moving on to different schools next year. If they can reclassify first, that offers them different opportunities in middle and high school. And next Monday, our district curriculum council will meet here to continue our discussion about the reading difficulties screener. We've looked at 3 options. They are the 3 options that are available in both English and Spanish. And we're going to hopefully decide which tool we would like to adopt because these need to be implemented beginning in August.
Any questions or comments? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the board and the superintendent. Ms. Cindy Lopez.
I don't have much just besides we had our workshop this past Tuesday, right? Monday, sorry, Monday, for our governance handbook. Thank you to Lou that came out, our superintendent, Dr. Alderman, and our board members that were here. It was a really nice workshop that I could say as the newest trustee, it's good to have and, be all of us and have the guidance of our attorneys and whatnot. So it was a really good workshop for us to make sure that we're all in agreement with what we're saying that we're committed to for our district and our students. And I believe we do have a good team here that is our goal, our students and the best interest in them. So other than that, I don't have much else to report.
Okay, Ms. Alvariano.
I also attended the governance or the meeting for the governance handbook, and I thought it went very well. I think we have one of the best board members in North Monterey County. We seem to work together very well, and it went smoothly, and we started on time and we ended on time. So, but thank you, board members, because sometimes, we go through like Lou had line by line, and we were in agreement we had a few questions and revisions, but all went well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah Turner.
I also appreciated everyone's hard work at the workshop on Wednesday and everyone's kindness to each other, which is something I really appreciate in this district. I attended the facilities committee meeting last week, really still excited about all the amazing things. I'm just incredibly grateful that we've really taken that as a goal in this district, that children deserve to learn in beautiful spaces, and we're trying to hold on to that. So I'm looking forward to the facilities meeting tonight and wishing Victor a speedy recovery.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, myself, I also attended the workshop, and I appreciate everybody for its input and stuff, and just be able to talk through it. I appreciate that we work well as a team. And that's it for myself.
I have a couple of things I'm presenting on behalf of Victor, so I'll just hold and get into that.
Okay, do we have any public comments regarding agenda items or non-agenda items?
We do not have public comment for non-agenda or agenda items.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to 9.1, informational facilities committee update.
So we had our facilities committee meeting on April 3rd. Our main topics were the cell phone tower status. We have a tower operated by T-Mobile at GV and JG between JG and the MOT. Our solar panel status, and then our upcoming major projects. And so Victor put together a presentation. So I'll walk through that. And then there were a couple of items that we discussed outside of the presentation, and I'll give you a bit of that. So if we can get into the next one. So the cell phone towers, they're operated right now by T-Mobile. And we had been notified that our towers were not DSA compliant, so the Division of State Architects. And so we were extremely transparent with them about everything that was going on, that we were demanding that T-Mobile remove the equipment and the structures if they were not DSA compliant in those pieces. So DSA was really pleased that we were just forthcoming with that and any issues. And so they said, well, okay, we'll treat those as separate from the other projects at both of those sites, because when you have a project at a site, it can impact any others if you're still trying to work out a compliance issue. And so they treated those separate. They also provided what would need to be done to those structures for a remedy. A lot of it is really going in, checking, verifying, and not a lot of structural changes so much as verification work with some minor changes. And so as oddly enough, it was the day before. So as of 4/2, where our current status is, so DSA had outlined exactly what would need to be done by T-Mobile. And so our legal counsel reached out to T-Mobile's legal counsel and talked that out, because T-Mobile really had a request of being able to remedy that at their own cost and full they do all the work as well as the paperwork and compliance things with DSA to assure that they do meet that compliance. The district gains about $50,000 of revenue per year, and we're able to put that back into our telecommunication cost, and so it helps offset that. That's the benefit of having them there. The fact that DSA clearly outlined what would need to be done for compliance. So T-Mobile sent a draft, and they're working it out with legal for a written agreement that would include the following. So T-Mobile would complete all DSA requirements as listed by DSA, bear all the cost. And also, this was the caveat that I said I would like that in there, that they would agree to fully remove the equipment and the structures should they not reach DSA compliance. Now, what we are still working on is that the contractor that they are hiring needs to come on site to review in order to give us an estimate of how long it would take them. And what DSA is looking for us is whether or not we're moving forward with the remedy once we have that timeline. And so again, DSA agreed to treat those separately and give that window of opportunity, because part of what T-Mobile would do for the initial compliance with DSA is to outline the timeline and that they are going to meet all of those requirements that DSA had given. So that's where we're at with our cell phone towers. The solar systems, and I'm sorry Mr. Patel isn't here because this is like an when I say ongoing, I'm headed towards my 10-year anniversary as an employee of the Santa Rita District, and this has been going on for at least 10 years. And Victor will tell you that when he was first hired by my predecessor, Tim Ryan, he was told, fix this thing, because it was already a thing by then. And so Generate Capital, remember Generate Capital actually owns the structures and the equipment. And so Generate Capital proposed repairs and designs with using Santa Rita Elementary School as a test site. And you might remember earlier in the year, we had let you know that they were going to do some testing during the school day because it was really important. You needed activity and lights on and what that looked like. And so Donna Koenig at Santa Rita Elementary went full in. The students knew what they were being part of and they were really excited. So the installation of the new systems went in around June to the end of August with a live site test for September 4th, this past fall. Our SRUSD staff, and so Victor pointed out it's like MOTF staff would go deploy to the site to turn the system on. So they went over and received training on the 15th. And then a little bit later, the inspection by Generate Capital on the 22nd confirmed that the equipment and those tests were still successful. So now Generate Capital is working on new contracts for our 5 remaining sites to get that fully operable. So we're looking forward to bringing you the information and the timing once we know those contracts are in place to install the new equipment that makes them work as they should.
So basically Santa Rita is working now? Is that?
Santa Rita is working. And so Generate Capital, and the reality is 10 years ago, we were one of the first sites that put in that particular, a battery backup system with our solar panels. And it just never worked the way it was supposed to work. Now, at the meeting, Sarah had asked a really good question about the billing offset and those things. And so we true up with Generate Capital at the end of each year. And right now they're basically paying a fee because they haven't been working, because we're supposed to be able to get a larger offset with PG&E. And as long as that's not quite where it should be, we do that end of year true up with them, with the goal that once the 6 systems are up and running fully, that we don't need to continue with the true up with them because it's actually functioning and it's impacting by decreasing our bills with PG&E.
Thank you
for that question. And then, so our major projects, so these are the ones that are going to have some movement, either before summer and leading into summer or happening for summer. So we've got our major project at JGMS, and we're actually bringing a contract to you for that work. Victor has been working with Ms. Ramos, the principal at John Gutierrez Middle School, and they're going to start some initial, they started some initial pieces around March 25th to get in there. What you might remember is that the grading for the initial design had been done, but because we decided we were going to turn the buildings internally, they needed to be a little farther apart to develop that courtyard and a little farther back. So they're going to have to come in and grade a little farther out to get ready for that foundation to be just a little bit farther out and a little bit farther apart. The infrastructure and things, the lines and everything had already been run and they're stubbed out, ready for connection there. And so getting in, putting your fence, doing the delineation, doing the grading and those things. So Victor is working around the testing schedule and those pieces at JG so that they can come in and do some of the preliminary things that need to be there before they get into the heavy work, just to try to get ahead of it. And remember, so the mobilization kind of lays out in those bullet points what it is. And so the fencing, the civil work, underground tie into that infrastructure, relocate the small garden that they do have with irrigation, put in the foundations, set the buildings, which we signed off on. They have our buildings. They are coming off the line. They are on time, and all the finishes. And so those are the pieces that for the contract that I'm bringing you with Premier Builders. And so our target for construction completion is August 5th for 6 additional classrooms to be up and running for JGMS. And so we'll work around student time on campus and those pieces to minimize noise when it needs to be minimized. And so they'll do some afternoon and evening things to get ahead of that. And not included in this, but we've talked about it before, our blacktop solution work is also going to be happening this summer simultaneously. So our prior contractor is coming in to remedy the blacktop issues that we still have with that project. And so we'll have 2 simultaneous projects going on. We'll have ours for the new building, and they'll have their entrance to get to that site and do that work. And then the blacktop repair will have their own entrance and ability to complete that work at the same time in the summer. So they are set to start as soon as school is out on that blacktop, because that is loud and it does have a smell and all of those things.
What's the first day of school for next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So the building, they'll be there, but we will not have actual kids in them at the beginning of the
that
year.
is correct.
Okay.
We are estimating we'll probably end up being able to have kids in them for the opening of September. So site with furniture and everything installed in it and ready to go. So. All right. So our major projects for GV, long time coming. And this one is a bigger scope, right? Because it has more infrastructure work and repair that needed to happen than one would have wished, but we're good. So for them, June 6th through August 3rd, we're doing all of the infrastructure out to the work zone, which includes we need to run trenches through the current blacktop. And so to do all of our lines, so electrical, fiber, all of those pieces, they actually feed, I'm pointing here like everyone can see what I'm talking about. And it is out here near the district office. So they're going to have to go across the blacktop. So we needed to wait till school is out because they're going to have to cut into the blacktop, create a trench, put that, and they'll have to repair that before the start of the school year so students can access the blacktop. But everything will be out and stubbed and ready for connection. So we also have our electrical connection box out there is basically located right in the middle of where we would want to put buildings. And so what we're trying to do is do the work that we need to get that moved over while maintaining power to the current rooms that are still in use. And so that also takes some timing and those things to have that ready to go so that the power to that is still there even once school starts and they're doing some of the getting the area ready and building the foundation, that we're not disrupting the power. And so then that's one of the reasons why. So for them, August 4th through October 3rd, it's that earthworks, utilities connection, laying those foundations for the new buildings. And then our confirmation right now is that for those buildings, we are in line for the buildings with the manufacturer, and we should have a firmer timing of actual deliveries for each of the buildings as we head towards June. So we are in line with everyone else. We were pleased when we found out that we were ready to sign off because ours at JG, they will be coming off the line and be ready actually right before the end of the school year. So as they're laying foundations and everything, our buildings are ready. So Victor found that out just earlier this week. But if you go to the next one, Victor has some renderings. So he's got an overview. So that is overlaid on a Google map. So you can see the 3 existing portables to the right. So it's a little bit older. It doesn't show the 4 temporary portables. So this was the latest overhead map that was available for them to overlay. And so that's where our new will go in. And remember, we'll probably put them in the first building. If you look to the left, the one closest to the current brick building and the next smaller one, they may go in ahead of the next 2. We'll know more on that as we head into June, or if all 4 of them might be ready at the same time. So we'll know a little bit later this spring on that. So if you go to the next one, really exciting. So you have that like slightly overhead view of how that will look. The idea being that, so the library has a little bit of a seat wall already, so that the courtyard can be established with some seat walls so students can sit in this newly formed courtyard. And remember, that will have the IT room for the infrastructure that needs to go out there, a custodial closet, as well as a boys and girls restroom facility out there also. And the next one is a walking into it view. Victor called it something else, and I can't remember that term, but he's very excited on this one. So you can kind of see and get a feeling for walking in. And he let everyone at facilities know that he would be working to place strongly well-established, correct age trees so that they can't easily be pulled down, because he discovered that went really well at McKinnon, getting a tree that was already a little bit better established than a sapling. And so this has smaller trees, so you can see the visual a little bit better than what he's thinking he'll put in.
Looks good.
Okay. And then the next one, very exciting. That was a late in the day piece of news that Victor came in and said, we did find a restroom. So for our La Jolla restroom and the MCUE demolition, remember they have 2 portables. They're vacant and ready for demo this summer. So between June 2nd and July 18th, MCUE intends to go ahead and demolish and remove those structures. That's the area where we'll be putting our new modernized buildings in. And so you can see in red at the end of the buildings where we call the village is where our new restrooms are going to go. And so the infrastructure and the plumbing is already there for the tie-in. And TBD on when we're going to actually get that, but we did get confirmation that day. We didn't change our slide, but I signed up on that because the manufacturer of the modular restroom, and it's going to be like the one we put in at Santa Rita Elementary. They're able to change and reconfigure what we needed, which is a girls' restroom, custodial plumbed closet, and a boys' restroom, and with student appropriate toilet heights. And so when we get that, the existing restroom, we're going to retrofit to be adult restrooms, so staff restrooms. And then he also wanted to include this, so our district office window wall system and the timing on that. So we're looking to start that construction for June 16th, and we're going to need to temporarily relocate our office staff June 16 to 27. They're going to demolish the entryway and do the rough carpentry and the painting of the offices and the communal space. And the reason we want to relocate staff is we have to take everything off the walls. We're going to put protective sheeting up on like things we aren't going to move, but move them into the center of the room to clear space, because they're going to do some sanding. They've got some old wallpaper they need to remove. And so we don't need people working in there while that's going on. It's going to be pretty dusty, pretty loud, and smelly, right? So, and then they're going to place the windows and partitions June 28th, and then add the finishings Looking at completion for August 15th. So we're going to designate a temporary access path into the district office so that we can resume operations and go back into working in person as they finish those pieces and the stucco and all of that. Probably the boardroom and designate a couple classrooms at GV or another site. And so we'll be able to be out here, still have access to restrooms and those pieces. Yes, Hawaii. I'm in on that. And we have our board meeting out there if we need. And yes, but I like it. So just looking at where we're going to have access and things like that. And, you know, as you know, the district office has functioned in a temporary space once before. When we had some mold abatement in the building, we ended up using the GV library and a couple of portables out back right as we transitioned into online learning during COVID. And so some of us were here for that magical time where we were running on the back 40, but kept it going. People still had access to us and could get their needs met for like registration and all of those pieces. So once we have a firm grasp on where we're going to be and what we're going to do temporarily, we'll communicate that out to our community to make sure they know where to go, where we're going to be at. And that was it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions, comments? No? All right. Thank you. So, okay, 9.2 is a public hearing. Sunshine proposal from Santa Rita Teacher Association to Santa Rita Union School District for the 25-26 bargaining negotiations. At this time, I'm opening up the hearing at 7:02 p.m. Has there any public comments being submitted or anything that's come online?
We do not.
Okay. Is there anything from the board? I will close the public hearing. Moving on to 9.3. I'm gonna public hearing sunshine proposal from Santa Rita Union School District to the Santa Rita Teachers Association, SRTA, for the 25-26 bargaining negotiations, and that's a letter that was included in there. We're gonna open up the hearing at 7:02. Any public comments that were submitted or anything?
We do not.
Okay, anything from the board? Okay, and there's nobody in the public either. So at this time, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:03. Moving on to 10.1, approval of the sunshine proposal letter from Santa Rita Union School District to Santa Rita Teachers Association regarding the 25-26 bargaining negotiations.
Motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay. 10.2 is approval of the university agency agreement between CSUMB and RSR and Santa Rita School District for service learners.
There I am. So yes, this is a normal agreement that districts typically enter with universities, and CSUMB is wishing to continue the partnership that we currently have with them for placement of students for the service learning opportunity. It's a requirement, graduation requirement. So we want to continue that partnership.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, 10.3, approval of MOU between Concordia University, Irvine, and Santa Rita Union School District for educational field experiences.
So this is similar to CSUMB's, but this is with the University of Concordia University in Irvine. And this is for the placement of students to do their practicum hours. And that is like for counselors, school psychologists. So we're wanting to continue that partnership as well.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, item 10.4, approval of 2025-2026 district calendar.
So in collaboration with the neighboring districts, Salinas Union High School District, we also looked at Alice South Union School District, collaboration with SRTA, CSCA. We are bringing the 25-26 calendar with a starting date of August 5th and ending date of May 5th, May 29th. May 29th. And you'll see the major breaks are just they're in alignment with what Salinas Union High School has adopted.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
I motion to approve. I just want to say, thank you for you guys putting this out there because I know a lot of parents like to plan and, you know, all of that, and attendance is very important. So thanks for getting that out there as soon as possible.
Okay, can I get-
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, 10.5 is approval of the contract with Yoli Arts after-school projects for Gavilan View Middle School.
Thank you. Artist Inc. Yoli is going to assist students at Gavilan View in creating some murals. The program will be held in the after-school program for 9 weeks, and 3 murals will be produced on the campus.
Yeah, I think I was going through it. It looks really exciting, really cool. Can I get a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, 10.6, approval of the contract with Premier Builders Incorporated.
Awesome. I am representing our Director of MOTF, Victor Sandoval, who is not here with us this evening, but did all the work to make this happen. And so this is our first contract that will fall under our PLA. And it is for the installation of 6 new classrooms at John Gutierrez Middle School. And our responsive bidder is Premier Builders Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. It's exciting. Can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion 4-0.
Okay, perfect. Our next regular boarding meeting will be April 23rd. 2025. Is there any suggested future board items?
I do not have suggested future board items, but I will be unable to attend because it is the open house night at my place of employment. So I just wanted everybody to, you know, have that in their mind.
Okay, perfect. Okay, nothing else. If I can get a motion to adjourn at 7:07 p.m.
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay, have a nice evening, everyone.
That will also be 2 days before Becky's 50th birthday.